All right, next inductee is Mary Moseychuck Radoux, athlete, presenter, Joanne McDonald, committee member. Joanne. Where's Joanne? I see ya. Best go back.
Good evening. My name is Joanne McDonald. Some of you may remember me as Joanne Connors. It is my extreme privilege tonight to tell you about my friend and schoolmate, Mary Moseychuck, who has since added Radoux to her name. It's no secret how much I love to honor our female athletes, so I'm extremely pleased to honor my friend and former teammate, Mary, tonight. I don't even need this microphone, to be honest. Okay, so in case you're wondering why there's so few female athletes honored, I'm going to tell you my hypothesis about that. Okay, so the girls played ferociously, just as tough as the boys did, but then they grew up. They got married, they had babies, and the lost boys continued to play. So that's why there's so few being honored in the Hall of Fame. Mary is the child of Mike and Lassie Moseychuck. She was brought up on 12 County Road, or 12 Hill as it was known then. Mary was a standout athlete at St. Agnes High School back in the 60s, when Breton Education Center was merely a concept in the minds of the town fathers at the time. It was a great privilege for me to play on the basketball and soccer teams at St. Agnes High with Mary. At the end of her high school basketball career, Mary helped secure no less than 2 provincial headmasters B basketball titles, one in 1965 at St. Agnes Gym, and again in 1968 in New Ross in the Annapolis Valley. Now, our basketball coach was Jim Fox Chesson, and he always used to tell us the toughest part of winning a provincial title was getting out of town. And it's true, and I'm sorry, with apologies to my most fierce competitor, Judy Wilcox McLeod. We beat Mount Carmel that year by 1 point and went on to win the provincial title. Judy was a standout basketball player. Okay, in 1967, Mary joined a number of female schoolmates to form the very first girls' soccer team in New Waterford. She played a strong defense at center halfback, a position that I think is referred to in today's soccer terms as sweeper. I can tell you this absolutely, that as the first goaltender on that team, I was certainly happy to have Mary as my strongest and last line of defense. I have no doubt that she would have led us to further provincial titles in soccer, but the lack of competing schools in that newly formed sport meant that we basically played local teams. That did not mean that the competition was not fierce. Actually, I do remember playing in a provincial soccer final at some point in Pictou on a freezing cold and snowy November day when I longed to be back on a basketball court. We lost that round to the more experienced Pictou team. I can certainly attest to being happy that season was over. I can certainly recall our basketball coach, Jim Fox Chesson, becoming exasperated with us for our girls' method of shooting. He would say, "Why do girls have to genuflect before they shoot?" Now, the Catholics, when we went to church, we used to have to genuflect before the altar. So, and that's how girls shot a basketball. It would start from here and go up into an arc. And it gave the defenders plenty of time to slap it down. So, Fox encouraged me to watch what Mary was practicing, to which I replied, "She's trying to shoot like a boy." And there was Mary off by herself at a side basket in the gym with the ball raised over her head, giving a little jump before she released it. Lo and behold, it was much harder for a defender to stop the trajectory. Who knew? Apparently Fox and Mary did. Well, I decided that what she was doing was well worth a look, so I copied her movements, and within a year or two, I could also perform that shot. In addition to being an excellent athlete, Mary was also a stellar student at St. Agnes, graduating with high honors. Mary also found time to play softball during her summers in New Waterford with the all-female team, the Rosetto Nine, who won a provincial title, and they were actually inducted into the very first New Waterford and District Sports Heritage Hall of Fame induction ceremony back in 2013, 10 years ago. Also in softball, Mary continued her stellar play by earning the third baseman position with the first Canada Games softball team playing out of Halifax. After high school, Mary attended the University of New Brunswick, where I assume she was offered scholarships, but I prefer to believe she went there because their colors were red and white, like St. Agnes. It was at UNB that she was exposed to yet another new sport, that of field hockey, where she played center forward for 3 years and led her team to no less than 3 Maritime College championships. She also won the Atlantic University League scoring championship for all 3 of those years. In 1972, in her senior year, the University of New Brunswick named her their Female Athlete of the Year, as a well-deserved acknowledgement of her contributions to their university sports program. I think it's easy to see that Mary was an exceptional athlete, excelling in every sport she played. Her demeanor was always gentle, yet she gave 110% effort to every game she played in. It is my great pleasure and honor to induct her into the 2023 New Waterford and District Sports Heritage Hall of Fame, not just because she's a female, but because she was an exceptional athlete, excelling in every sport she ever played. I ask Mary to come forward to accept this well-deserved recognition tonight. That's something I just want to ask a question to Dave McDonald. Have you never witnessed a New Waterford Mount Carmel girls basketball game? The only thing we didn't do was put on war paint.
Congratulations.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody who organized this evening, and a special thank you to the committee who've done so much for sport here in New Waterford. Next, I'd like to say thank you to Joanne for that amazing introduction. Joanne and I played basketball together and soccer at St. Agnes, and it was Joanne who called to tell me this was going to happen tonight. Naturally, I was pretty shocked, surprised, stunned really, that I would win this award. As a teacher in phys ed, usually I'm the one working in the kitchen and organizing things for this. So it was a lovely surprise, so thank you for that. I am delighted to be back here in New Waterford because this gives me an opportunity to say thank you to some very important people who helped me along the way. Some, sadly, have passed. but I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about them. I share this award with the most important people of all, my teammates, many of whom were amazing athletes. They really were. What I found was that it was a joy to play so many exciting games with these wonderful young ladies. When I played softball for the Rosetto 9, my teammates ranged in age from teenagers to 40-year-olds. We got along well together, and I think it was the blend of youthful enthusiasm and seasoned veterans that made us successful. My thanks to our manager, Kayla Loop, and to our coach, George Lewis, who believed in us and taught us so much. At St. Agnes High School, I played soccer and basketball. Our soccer coach, Art Timmons, who is here this evening, took a group of girls who knew absolutely nothing about soccer and miraculously turned us into a successful team. I remember getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, heading to St. Agnes, and running all around town, or at least it seemed that way, with Mr. Timmons and my teammates so that we could get in shape. Wow, were we tired when we got to school. Thank you, Mr. Timmons, for working so hard to help us succeed. I'd also like to thank our amazing basketball coach, Mr. Fox Chesson, and his assistant, Johnny McClellan, who made sure we got to every game safely and on time. Fox led us to 2 provincial championships during my time at St. Agnes. He worked us hard, doing drill after drill, so we could master skill after skill. He was also a kind, dedicated man who helped us to love the game of basketball. How fortunate we were to have him as our coach. And now, about my family, who supported and encouraged a young girl who, strangely enough, in the 1960s, loved sports. Tonight, I am fortunate to have here, supporting me once again, my wonderful sister, Carol Ann McIntyre. I'm nervous. My wonderful sister, Carol Ann McIntyre, her husband, Huey, her daughter, Michelle, my nephew, Ralph Lovell, and his family, Bernadette and Connor, my nephew, Dylan, and his girlfriend, Lori. And I would also like to thank my brother Michael, who popped in on a big surprise this afternoon, all the way from the Cancel Causeway, way past there, and just to visit and say hi and to congratulate me. Michael's wonderful, and he just had a kidney operation recently, and he's doing great. A kidney transplant. Unfortunately, my husband Julie and my sons Luke and Matthew couldn't be here tonight, but I know they're thinking of me. I'd also like to acknowledge my friend Anna Baldwin, who played basketball at St. Agnes before I did and won a Cape Breton championship. Bravo, Anne. And now I think of the people who have left, especially in the last 3 years. I acknowledge that I'm terribly sad about that, but I know that my sister, Linda Lovell, her husband, Pat Lovell, my sister, Judith Moseychuck Sherman, and of course, my parents, Lassie and Michael Moseychuck, are looking down at us tonight and smiling. My mom always welcomed players from other teams into our home, providing them with delicious meals and a warm bed. She also made sure that my pleated white basketball skirt, it was perfectly pressed, okay, and ready for every single game. My mom was great. I'd also like to mention my dad. It is from him that I inherited my love of sports. Often, after supper, the two of us would drive around town, going from one softball field to another, looking for a game to watch. We'd cheer on the home team and discuss strategy. He played catch with me, hit grounders to me, and rarely missed one of my games. My dad is my sports hero. Thank you, my amazing family and friends, for your love and your support. Finally, yes, there is an end here. Good news. Thank you to the town of New Waterford and to all the wonderful people who have supported sports throughout the years. New Waterford is well known as a great sporting town that welcomes teams with open arms and puts on first-class tournaments. It is a reputation that has been earned through many years. When I played sports over 50 years ago, I won't tell you exactly, there were very few towns that had organized sports for girls. Fortunately for me, New Waterford was one of them. You bet. Bravo. I remember after we won one of our provincial basketball championships, we arrived back at St. Agnes and were greeted by a gym full of fans cheering us on. Imagine that. We even got to ride through town on a fire engine. Oh, the excitement, waving to everyone we could find. Oh, it was wonderful, how thrilled we were. That is why, whenever I am asked where I'm from, I say with great pride, I'm from New Waterford. You bet. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for making my dreams and the dreams of so many young girls come true. Good night.
Good job.